Oh. Are we back? Alright, I think we're back. Wait, hold on. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? OBS? Please don't crash on me again. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. I think we're back. I think we're back. Alright, I think we're back. Phew. Okay. Well, that was stupid. I guess OBS just crashed because I heard an alert from my headphones being like, "Ba-da-doom! OBS Studio disconnected. Please try again." I was like, what? So that sucks because that was only like, what, 20 or 30 minutes we've done, which means I theoretically still have to do a part A, part B. God, I hate doing parts in this, man. I hate it. I really honestly hate it. It's a weird pet peeve of me. I'd rather get everything done in one shot and don't have an editor. Whatever. We're just gonna move on. I digress. We'll just do a part A and part B and just merge them together as best as we can. Sorry about that, YouTube. Twitch, I'm also sorry as well. I don't know why. Help me get better internet connections. For those that, I don't know, maybe didn't watch my very short part A, I'm going back in my tirade, but essentially, yes, welcome back to Persona 3 Reload. We're going through this newer area of Ptolomea because I died last time and I screwed up. What else have I managed? Oh, and I'm just kind of going a whole Persona 4 rant because they just announced a revival, or excuse me, a remake of Persona 4. So if you want like the kind of like Cliff Notes version of what I discussed, I'm basically talking about like the comparisons to Persona 3 Reload or Persona 4 remake. It's nothing much, just getting you guys up to speed on that in case anyone's like concerned. So sorry, I don't know why OBS crashed on me. I really, really hope that doesn't happen again. We're just gonna go back to it, right? Thanks for a credit. Phew. I kind of deserve that considering OBS crashed on me. I gotta add one to the sister count because I heard that. Actually, I heard two of that. You're still alive? God, you're tough. Come on, my defense. There we go. Now you. What are you weak to again? Okay, can't shoot you. Oh, that sucks. And my defense is lower, isn't it? Ow. Help. Okay, well, at least I got that down, but unfortunately, I'm down, so I can't get an all-out attack. Oh, but you can do that. That works. That helps. But yeah, sorry, that OBS crashing thing kind of threw me for a loop, because I was like, what rate was I going on? I'm trying to go back in my headspace here on what the flip I was just talking about before my whole thing crashed. I honestly can't remember. Oh, no, I was doing comparisons between 3 and 4. Or Persona 3 Reload and Persona 4 Remake, because again, they announced Revival a couple of days ago, and your boy's extremely excited, but the problem is, I don't know. I'm scared. I think I'm a little bit afraid. I don't think John Atlas is gonna mess this up. Like, they don't. But I'm nervous about the changes. Like, there's one thing I really hope they don't do, is that I hope they don't incorporate what Persona 3 is doing in Merciless. Like, I hope Merciless is actually hard, but I also hope that it's not one of those things where I don't get, like, bonuses and stuff. It's the one reason why I'm not, like, faster in my reload playthrough that I'm doing off camera. I need to heal. I should really heal. Can I heal everyone? I don't have enough for that. Great. I gotta use a trick. Yeah, I'll just heal everybody. Should I use Salvation? Yeah, I should use Salvation. Get everyone nice and fully healed. It's the smarter thing to do. You're welcome. Thanks for adding one more to the sister count. Not this time. It'll make more. I'm pretty sure once I take down these enemies, I can focus better. Because I'm just nervous because I don't want to die again like I did last episode. Alright, that's round 2. We just got one more to go. What are these guys weak to again? Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna lower the stats. Let's see if you guys can figure it out for me. Alright, not ice. And that's problematic. Hope I can dodge. Okay, not electricity. Got rid of the buff, which is good. I still need to figure out what they're weak to. Oh, lame! What are you weak to? You're weak to fire. You don't have a weakness. Okay, so fire, and that's pretty much it, really. Fortunately, that defense boost is really saving you there. I'm gonna do it again. Also, I heard that sister metis. But that was amazing, sister! Oh, I couldn't dizzy it. Alright, well, now it's down to 1, but I can't dizzy it. Oh, thanks. Let me get a crit. Come on. Wait, it said effective revolution ended, but it just did revolution. That's lame. Now we can at least fight and do some normal damage on you. Yeah, fire, right? Oh, so much energy I wasted on that. Whatever, get him. That way I can go back to my Persona 4 rant. There we go. We're done. Phew. Nervous, I don't want to die. I'll take that. I'll take that. Sure, Segfried's new. Bye, Quetzalcoatl. Nice. Anything? Alright, I got a skill. Masuka Kasha? Sure, that's easy. What's next? Zeodyne. Oh, I saw a question mark go, which means Akihiko's starting to run out of skills.
Oh, hello.
Hey, what's up? But yeah, okay. Now that that's done, I can go back to my little, like, tirade, rant, whatever you want to call it when it comes to Persona 4. Choker of Anguish? Feels fitting. Strength plus 8. Oh, boy. What does Metis have? Alright, where are you getting this, Metis? Let's see. How do I establish what I was talking about before OBS crashed?
Nicely done.
Sure, you can have this. I'm a little nervous on John Atlas, not because I'm afraid of them messing up, because I have absolute confidence that Persona 4 Revival is going to be really good. I'm just nervous because I don't know what changes they're going to do, especially when it comes to a couple aspects like the voice acting, because we don't know if they're bringing any of the voice actors back. And that leads to the first thing I want to talk about, right? So let's assume, right? Wait, where's Akihiko? Plus 50 XP? Okay, fine. Yeah, you can have it. Let's assume, right, that for Persona 4 Revival, which again, I wish they called it Rewind or Reset, but whatever. Oh, I skipped this one. I didn't even pay attention. Let's assume that they're going to do, like, Revival, what they did with Persona 3 Reload, right? Now, that means that there's one of two things about that, both good and bad. Ooh, insta-heal. That's nice. It means there's one of two things about that. One good, one bad. And that depends on if they decide to... And that basically ultimately depends on whether they decide to keep the original voice actors or they go for new ones, right? And while a number of people are going to be like, oh, well, they should totally bring back the original voice actors, you have both a good and bad thing. I know I just went on a circle here, but let me explain. Let's say they get the original voice actor... Or no, let's say they do like they did with Reload and get newer voices. Then one, we're all wondering who the voice actors are that they're casting for Persona 4. Personally, I wish they cast your boy, but your boy doesn't have enough experience yet, which means that despite his dream of one day voicing... Whoa, that scared me. Despite this boy's dream of becoming a voice actor, especially for Persona 4, probably not going to happen right beforehand. Don't worry, I've tried. I've been praying, I've been hoping, I've been wishing, I've been trying to branch out, but John Atlas does not know I exist, which is totally fine. Not really. They probably just think I'm just some other crazed fan on the internet, just yelling and talking. At least I have a nice voice. Whatever, I tried. I'm not gonna bother fighting, because I'm gonna let you guys do all the fighting for me. So the issue is that if they decide to get newer voices, then now we gotta think of who the heck they're gonna cast to voice who. Who are they gonna cast to voice Yuri? Sorry, who are they gonna cast the voice? Yosuke, Chie, Kanji, Teddy, Naoto, the whole characters, right? Now, I do remember seeing on different forums how a lot of people are thinking, oh, they could cast Alex Lee to voice Yosuke, because if you don't know, Yuri Lowenthal voices the Persona 3 original protagonist. He voices the Persona 3 protagonist in the original games. So it would make sense that since Alex Lee is cast as Persona 3's hero, that they would cast him as Yosuke. I don't know, like I think Alex Lee's voice is way too cool. And I'm not saying anything bad on Yuri Lowenthal because I love Yuri Lowenthal's voice, but it's too cool. Like it's just, I don't think I've heard him in like roles that make me think, oh, Alex Lee's definitely gonna be a Yosuke. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there's one role out there that I don't know. There might be. I just can't think of it. So it's gonna be different hearing Alex Lee do it. If, of course, they cast Alex Lee to be the voice of Yosuke in Persona 4. So that's a big if, right? But we still don't know who the flip are gonna be cast as all the other characters. Like, who's gonna be Teddy? Who's gonna be Chie, Naoto, Rise? Or the biggest thing, not even to show favoritism, who the flip's gonna be you? Narukami, of course. Those are some big steep shoes to fill, especially when it's Johnny Young Bosch.
Found Junpei earlier. I could have met up with Koromaru too.
Yes, you could have.
There's a shadow.
I don't know why you waited for that one. Welcome, Bear, to the stream. Welcome to the Persona 4 hype.
They won't know it's my resolve.
I don't know what you guys be. I'm just gonna chop you all up and hope for the best. But I have no idea who could they possibly cast. Wow, that was awesome. I don't have any idea who they could possibly cast to be the voices for these characters in Persona 3 Revival, in Persona 4 Revival.
Me and my sister.
Thanks for adding another one to the sister count. There should be, Bayo. There should be some Revival hype. That's the theme for today's episode. But right now, I'm going on a tirade because, and to get you up to speed, Bayo, I'm thinking about like if they cast newer voices, the argument between casting new voices Persona 4 versus the argument of keeping the old voices. So, of course, it's a matter of if they decide to choose new voices. I don't think I can think of many people that could. So I'm curious to see if there are new voices, who would they cast to be the newer voices for these characters? Who would be you? Who would be Adachi? I hope they cast, I think it was Adi who made this joke the other day, which I can't wait for Adi to pop up. Or if Adi, if you're watching this in the future, I know that you want the person who did Dojima from the Persona 4 Hein Daisy comic to be the voice of Dojima, so we can get damn it, Nanako, damn it, Nanako, I need you to get me some more pistachio ice cream. I'm hungry for some more pistachio. Like I agree. If we get the Hein Daisy comic version of Dojima, that'd be freaking funny as hell. But we're probably not. Ooh, I didn't see that treasure over there. But I have no idea who could we cast. So obviously, if you have ideas for who it could be, then let me know. My theory is that no recording is done yet. Maybe in Japanese so they can start animating cutscenes. Definitely not English though. Probably. Like I know when it comes to Japan, this is going to be the interesting thing to kind of like segue to something very fascinating. When it comes to Japanese voice actors and actresses, or seiyus, compared to English voice actors and actresses, for more intents and purposes, any person cast as one thing, unless there's something extremely controversial or God forbid fatal or anything like that, a person that's cast as the voice will always be that voice actor. For example, we have who's a random seiyu that I can mention that people know. Let's say oh gosh, let's say Miyuki Sawashiro. I love this woman's voice. She has one of the best voices ever. The voice sends me places. Do not say the simp emote. Seriously, listen to her voice rolls. You'll understand exactly what I'm saying. It's awesome. Like, she's cast as... What's a role? Let's say that she's Fujiko Mine in Lupin the Third. She's gonna be Lupin the Third's Fujiko Mine for a long, long period of time. Granted, they had other ones back then, before, in the past, but it's gonna be her. Or let's say her as Sinon in Sword Art Online. She's gonna be Sinon unless, God forbid, she just leaves voice acting or something. And the perk on that is, that means that if anyone in Japanese wants to hear that voice, or when they think of that character, they're gonna hear it. For example, you know what? Let's use a better example. Aigis's Japanese seiyu, her voice actress, is one of my other personal favorite seiyus, Maya Sakamoto. Ow, 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 ow.
You can do this. Something else.
That hurt a little bit. No crits? Lame. There was no one in Inaba. The music of the trailer was the original files, and no VO was shown. I highly doubt we're getting it before 2027. I want to believe we'll get it next year. I'm going to be optimistic and say that they have something secretive at work, and we're going to get that bad boy next year. I want to be hopeful. Blind hopeful, but I'm going to be hopeful nonetheless. Okay, whatever. I'm thinking. I know it's most likely probably going to be another year or two for now, but I just want it to be next year because then I can make the argument of, oh, we got Persona 4 Remake before GTA 6. No, I love that meme. But to go to it, Aigis' voice Seiyu, this woman that you see right before you, her Seiyu is Maya Sakamoto. Immediately, not to say any other particular role, but one of my favorite roles that she's done is from one of my favorite anime of all time, Monogatari, who voices Shinobu. Kiss sought... Oh, I'm not going to give you the whole title. Actually, what is her full name? Kiss shot Orosola Heart Under Blade. I feel like I'm missing another part of her name. Oh, you know what I mean. It's the blonde lolly girl. She's one of my favorite characters in anime. And I know some of you guys are probably like, wait, what? V? What's the context?
Actually, never mind. Junpei's face was more horrifying during his first time with the Dark Hour.
Just trust me on this. Shinobu's amazing, and I love her. She's one of my favorites. Honestly, we're probably still getting GTA 6 before, or we're gonna probably get it before GTA 6, let's be real. I don't know, they did say GTA 6 for you Grand Theft Auto players. That's supposed to drop, what, next year? May or something, right? May? June?
The enemy's nearby.
I don't really like mess with Grand Theft Auto like that, or not at all, but
Sister, an enemy.
I'm certain that we'll probably get GTA 6. Actually, you know what? Let me be quiet, because I don't want someone to be like, they were gonna do GTA 6 in a month, but Vitamin DGR said that they were coming out, and now they pushed it back. So Rockstar said because one person talks, we have to wait. We all have to suffer. Yeah, I don't want to be the one held responsible for GTA 6 being delayed. But I digress. Anyway, back to the thing. Maya Sakamoto is the voice actress for Aigis. She was the original Seiyu for Aigis back in the past, and they brought her back again for this role, for this Aigis. Granted, I know I'm playing it in English right now, but I did try a little bit of it off camera, and I was happy to hear that it was the same Maya Sakamoto. And if you want me to be proven even further right, watch the movies of Persona 3, like the Midsummer Spring, or the Midsummer Night's Dream, like the all-season ones, what, the Spring of Revival, I can't remember the titles of them right now. But you know, the Persona 3 movies that just look god-tier beautiful. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The same voice actress for Aigis back then is still Aigis here. And that's what's awesome, is that they still cast it. But that leads to the issue, right?
The doors disappear once they've served their purpose. It may be best to keep that in mind. There's meaning to everything here.
Actually, I'm gonna save because I don't want to die. I think this is where I died last time. Can't remember. But that's the issue between Japanese voice actors and actresses and English voice actors and actresses. The English ones can be swapped out in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter whether someone grows to it or not. They could cast it unless circumstances say otherwise. So as much as I would hate to believe it, they could swap it whenever. You know what? This is a perfect example. You're watching me play Persona 3 Reload. The original voice actress for Aigis was, I believe her name was Miss Karen Strassman. I hope I didn't butcher her name. The same voice actress for Nanako in Persona 4, right? They cast Dawn M. Bennett as Aigis. And while I do love Miss Dawn's voice, quite a lot I must say, because I've been hearing some of her work in this, and admittedly, I found out that she's a VTuber on Twitch, so I might have potentially followed her. Yes, I'm a nerd like that, whatever. She doesn't know I exist, it's fine. But I have been hearing some of her work, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy to me that I not only like her work, but it's also, no, not crazy. Crazy is not the right word to say. Interesting to me is that Atlas decided to change it up. And now, instead of having this Karen voicing Aigis again in this game, they instead decided to get a new voice actress. And I know one person out there is going to try and do the whole argument of, oh, but what about Elizabeth? Because it's the same woman who voiced Elizabeth back then as now. Yes, to be fair, not all the time they swap out English voice actors and actresses. Sometimes they keep the same. But more often than not, they'll swap out someone if, you know, circumstances is what it is. So, actually, I kind of like her human take on Aigis. It's fitting for her. I agree. I think I've mentioned that on stream too, is that I like how this version of Aigis feels a lot more human than the more robotic version of Aigis. And at the same time, even though I like Junpei's original voice, now I can't not hear, what is his name? I can't not hear Zeno Robinson doing Junpei now. I just can't anymore. It's gonna be different to me when I go back to original P3. Oh god, this is gonna suck. You two?
The two enemies. You can do it.
Alright, this is gonna be rough. Okay. Let's start with some ice. Let's get this over with. I probably should have done darkness. Alright, well one's weak to ice. Good to know.
I'm still setting up. It is time.
You absorb ice. Ooh. Light. Nope, not light. Oh, I might have to focus here. But the standpoint I'm saying is that they swapped it out. So now comes, to go back full circle, the issue of if they're going to bring back the original voice or not. Oh, well. At least they get rid of that. Oh, you reach electricity? We got this. Because now all it takes is Mitsuru to use... Yes. I love when my teammates do what I want them to do. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it does.
Like fish in a barrel.
Bale says, Karen Strassman was very good, but the whole point of Aigis is that she's human. Even here, where she should be more robotic, Dawn Embedded still did really well. Very good points. Very, very fantastic points, actually. But this goes in full circle to the issue that we now have, right? Where it's... Do they... Okay, let me start by saying this. Let me start by saying this is the question. This is the point I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to see what you guys think about this. The debate is, should they bring back the original voices for Persona 4 Revival, the upcoming remake? Or should they go for new voices? Because then it's A, who do we cast for these new voices, especially considering that a lot of people, I'm not going to say ill, this is definitely more of a biased opinion than a factual take, but I do feel like a lot more people prefer the voice acting done in Persona 4 than they did in Persona 3. Now, I'm not saying Persona 3's characters aren't good, but clearly Persona 4 has better characters than Persona 3. Yes, I'm saying that. I stand on that hill. There may be a couple characters that definitely shine better, but let's be fair. As the overall cast of Persona 3 compared to 4, 4 is better. 3 has a better story. I will obviously admit that, but 4 has better characters. Also, do you have any other weaknesses? Oh, not fire view and not fire view. Okay, good to know. That sucks.
This should work.
Glad I did that because I was actually about to see if I could use fire or a different element. Get him. But now comes a different side of the argument. Let's say they don't switch the character or the voices. Let's say we get the original voices that we had back in... Oh, what? You could do that? That's so lame. Oh, you know what? Oh, you just gave me another turn to do stuff. Let's say they decide to keep the original voices from Persona 4 back to this game. Let's say we get Miss Karen Strassman, for example, to come back as Nanako. Let's say we get Johnny Young Bosch to come back as Yu, Narukami, and Adachi. Let's say we get... And actually, I don't know. I think it might be kind of hard to get Troy Baker as Kanji. I think he's too good or like too high profile now. Or he costs too much. Because I think we had Matt Mercer at a point. Bottom line is, let's say we get the original voice actors for Persona 4 back in this, right? In the revival. Is that a good thing? Because then comes a different issue. Now we got all these people who like Persona 3 who are like, well, but how is it fair that Persona 4 got to keep their original voices and not Persona 3? And then it becomes a whole different issue altogether. Where there's gonna be a loser no matter what. Like, there's no way to win. Like, if anything, I feel it's gonna cause more of an issue if they bring back the original voices. So now, despite me wanting the original voices, I'm gonna be at the mercy of saying, or I'm gonna be at the liberty of saying, I think it'd be more preferred if we have new voices. Now, again, I'm gonna say that again. I think, personally, I would rather have the original voices, but I think the backlash of it is gonna be too much for anyone to want to deal with. I'm just gonna keep you down. I think people would rather have the original voices, but it's gonna be too controversial to me personally. Is controversial a word? I don't think controversial is the right word. It's just overall safer. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what is this? Wait, what is this? Wait, it's a new theurgy. Oh, that was sick! Yo, I love that! What was that? Ow. What the frick was that? Was that a new theurgy? Oh, Akiko's dead.
I was careless. Let's use this and regroup.
That was so cool. What was it? I gotta look up that theurgy. I didn't know that was a thing. How do I, where are you? Persona stat. Oh no, theurgy. Charging, that must have been charging blitz. Severe strike damage. When did I get this? Oh. It was a moment between Fuka and Metis and myself. We were at the staircase. And then they said something, and then Metis was like, I want more power. Boom. I have a new theurgy. That was so cool, though. Although, I think I prefer her Orgia mode one more. Because of how cool it was with the whole butterfly motif. I think that was way cooler. Yeah, I think Orgia mode Metis is way cooler. But I will say that Aigis' original, I think it was maximum firepower, I think it was cooler. So I like how we both had like parallels there. Sorry, just nerding out there. Let's see. I should use an electric thing, you know. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Ow. Oh, you heard her say that?
Thanks.
Sorry, that was completely by accident. I wanted to heal us. That was purely by accident, man. I thought I was in a menu when I did that, and I forgot when I pressed X, I did it. Alright, now I can take care of you. Unless you can summon. Which would be stupid.
You're really beat up. Hurry, you've got to heal. This should work.
There we go. Done.
All targets destroyed.
Oh, man, that was rough. But we pulled through. That's what matters. The Chariot Tarot. What does that do for me? Aigis' max HP plus 10. When you reach the major arcana card limit, they will stop appearing in shuffle time. This will increase as you progress in the abyss of time. Oh, okay. Woo! Everyone leveled up. Hell yeah! What do we get? Oh, right. Akasha Arts? Does he need this? I'm just gonna use Rebellion Blade. He doesn't need Akasha Arts. He's not a strike fighter. I could get rid of Growth 3 there. Fine, I'll get rid of Growth 3. What's your last skill? Mega Dolon. Oh, okay. Really? No one got a skill?
Hey,
Are you tired, sister? The enemy just now was actually pretty strong. Oh, right. I gotta add a sister count for when she was hurt. Gotta forget about that. It's okay to... Oh, wait. That's not your voice. What was your voice I gave you? I think the voice I gave was more... It's okay to turn back if you're tired. You shouldn't push yourself too hard. I'm doing fine. Maybe we ought to head back. How are you doing, Menace? She'd probably be excited to say that, for me to ask her that, so... Me. I'm fine. Perfectly fine, even. Why, everything's just fine. Yeah, okay, sure. Uh-huh. Anywho, where are my rewards? Where are my goodies? That's the staircase. I went the wrong way.
Glad we get to face a tough enemy. Now we're one step closer to our goal.
Ooh, man, I need to get some serious... I need to get some more Twilight fragments. Holy moly. Masters of Strength? What is that? A fitness guide containing information to be mastered, only for advanced students. I have a funny feeling that might be an Akihiko thing. I'll probably have to leave and come back after this. Aristocracy. Oh, well, that's perfect. I have Mitsuru. And Mitsuru doesn't want that, apparently. Why do you not want this? 30 SP. Oh, well, okay. I guess it's kind of meh, I guess. It sounded like it was going to be cool. Dog toy. Oh, well, that's clearly for Koromaru. Now, the question is, should I go back, heal, and see what those yield? Should, right? Yeah, I probably should. But yeah, get back to the Persona 4 thing. So that's the issue I have, right? Is do we decide to keep the original voices of Persona 4 or not? Because I know it's going to be so many Persona 3 Reload or Persona 3 players who are going to be like so mad because they'll be like, why does Persona 4 get all the glory treatment and not Persona 3?
Marvelous.
I just know it is. I just know it for a fact.
Here are my requests.
Bring me Shackles of Madness?
By all means.
Okay. I don't know what the Shackles of Madness is, but you're welcome, I guess.
Very well.
I should do the fusion of the episode, so I'm gonna do that right now while you guys listen to some clearly copyrighted music that no matter what I try, YouTube's not gonna let up with that. So I tried. Whatever. So Bayo, question for you. You said you want to keep them, huh?
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
So you think it's better that we keep the original voices of Persona 4?
Register
Now,
nice.
realize though, by saying that, that means that there's gonna be equally at least one person that's gonna be upset because Persona 3 Reload never got the original voices. I don't know if that's gonna sway your vote in this or aspect or anything. Register these
Will you
guys.
register it to the completed registration.
Can I make anybody good? Let's see. 63.
Shall we take a look?
This persona is powerful.
No, I need something a little bit more.
This persona is powerful.
Something a bit better for me. What do I want to make? I have no clue what I want to make. Maybe all these personas. Oh, it's 2 levels stronger. I kind of want to make Hellbiker, but nah.
This persona is powerful.
Well, what do I got? What do I have actually? Light, fire, pierce, wind, and healing. Izanagi's just because I like him. Electricity, ice, again. Orpheus, because obviously Orpheus.
Take all
Darkness,
the time
Almighty,
you need to
Strike.
consider.
Might be time to start saying goodbye to people. I do need to start getting better personas. Alright. Unless I can make a special fusion.
All the
Oh, I'm not strong enough to make Alice. Damn it. Alright, I'll just make a different one.
Well,
P3 and P4 originally had a large overlap, so no one was bound to be recast. Plus, the VAs absolutely adore the roles. That's true. I'm certain, but... And I'm trying to be devil's advocate here when I say this. I think there's a good number of people that prefer... Or the cast of Persona 3 that like those roles.
seeing what personas come to
Like, I'm
be
certain Yuri Lowenthal would have loved to be
well.
cast as Minato. I'm certain that, Michelle Ruff would have been loved to cast as Yukari. I'm just winging it here. I don't obviously know. That's just purely a guess.
This persona is powerful.
I don't really want to get rid of too many things. So let's just use Rongda for it.
Choose the personas you would
I'll have to
like
buy somebody
view.
back. Let's do... Goodbye, Izanagi. We're gonna make Daisojo.
This persona, yes?
Even though I like Izanagi a lot.
Please choose what skills to
Now,
inherit.
let's see. What do we give you? Let's give you Matarakaja, Marakukaja, Matarunda. No, you don't need growth too. I'll do Soul Shift. There.
Well.
Well. Yes, but Atlas chose which one you recast. That's a good point. I just fear that there's going to be too many people that's going to make a big stink about it. You and I both know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be like, well, how is it fair that John Atlas decided to keep the original voices for it? Now, between you and me, I, again, would prefer they keep the original voice actors, and even better, this is just my headcanon, I think the people that said something are just trolling. I think that Yuri is going to be cast as Yosuke. I think Aaron Fitzgerald is going to be cast as Chie. I think Amanda Wynn Lee is going to be cast. Say what you will about these people. I personally think so. Now, to be fair, they did do recasting before. Now, I'm not going to be ignoring that. They did it several times. For example, Matt Mercer would eventually take on Troy Baker's role as Kanji. And I don't remember the voice actress's name, but someone took Risei's role in Persona 4 Dancing. I don't remember her name, though. And I hate the fact I can't remember. Bottom line is, they've done it before. They've done it recasting with the cast before. I don't know if John Atlas is going to do it again. I would love if they did. I would love it if they did, but I do not know. I am not confident. Obviously, only time will tell. But I'm still curious. I'm gonna go heal and probably go back there. Maybe I can see what this dog toy and this stuff is. Oh, I got a cutscene. Hold that thought. Guess I need to push... Wait, deeper. Guess I need to push my limits even harder.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Koromaru. Hey, listen. I was just thinking. What do you say to a little exploring? Just you and me. Might make for decent training. Guess I have to bark for that one. Rare to go, huh? But I can always count on you, Koromaru. Do they run around a different dungeon? Ooh, that was pretty tough on our own. Should have figured. Don't get me wrong, I'm not beating myself up over it.
Hey there.
I know there's only so much I can handle by myself. Not like I can think fast on my own feet either. No matter what's in front of me, I always come out swinging the second the bell rings. I've gone through this exact same thing before, but I guess I just forgot.
No.
Was it after we got weaker? No, it must have happened way before that. Oh, okay, I just got his second theurgy. Alright, oh, am I getting Koro and Akihiko's? I bet I am.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for this, Koromaru. Sorry you had to put up with such a moron. Oh man, now I got this theurgy. Okay, I'm not saying ill about it, but we've seen it happen. He only uses this theurgy. He doesn't use the dark one. The only time he uses it is before I never had it. Now he's gonna only use Power Howling. I kid you not.
Perhaps.
Hang on. Oh, hang on. Was there something weighing on your mind too? I had no clue. You just looked like the same old handsome devil to me. Well, should we start heading back? Don't tell Aigis or Mitsuru about any of this. It'll be our heads if they found out we went off exploring on our own. Well, maybe from Mitsuru's standpoint, I don't know why you would have to worry about Aigis. But whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen when it comes to Persona 4. I have confidence it's gonna be good, but what are we hoping for? What are some of the things we hope that they're gonna do? What are some changes, rather? Like, let's be honest. There are a good number of changes we want Persona 4 to have. And I'm not gonna lie, there's 3 things that come to mind. But the biggest one to me, which I know they have to do, and I know it's gonna be done, I want the TV World dungeons to be way better. Because while the P4 dungeons were fine, they weren't really. Like, I think the dungeons were kind of eh. They could have been better. I would love it if they did something similar to what they did with Tartarus. Or Mementos, where it was constantly changing or something. I would love if they did that. Also, I would like it for be a bit more challenging, more fun. Like, I want to be pushed to the limits. I want it to be that if I make one simple mistake, it's bad. Now, the other change I was going to make, I'm pretty sure they're going to do, is I think that they're going to incorporate, you know, the bless and curse effects like they did. Because in P3, to remind you guys, in original Persona 3, they never really had light and dark the same way we know it. They didn't have, like, Kogon and Aegon. They only had Hama and Muto. So if anyone had light or dark, you were overpowered, which is why Naoto, while sucks because she gets there so late, was, for the most part, extremely overpowered. Well, actually, no, that's not true. She wasn't overpowered. But basically, Hama and Muto were overpowered. Yeah, that's the better way to say it. Hama and Muto were pretty much overpowered in that game. They're stupid. They're straight up insta-kill skills. So unless you resisted it, you better pray that you got lucky or had a homunculus. Nothing else you could have done. I know I speak for a lot of Mega 10 fans with that one. Not even just Persona 4, but just most of those old games back then when it was like Hama and Muto. It just sucked, so whatever. Oh, hey, listen. Got some time on my hands right now. I was thinking about reading that book we found in the Abyss. You interested? Yeah, sure, why not? I got the time.
Right.
Masters of Strength, huh? Interesting title. Kinda got me curious. That's it? You just said, and then just move on? Okay. A little light reading's not too bad every now and then. Helps keep your mind sharp.
Agreed. That's surprising. Is something the matter?
Yeah, let's ask. Nothing gets past you, huh? But yeah, I guess you can say that.
By the way,
You remember that conversation we had with Amada about sticking to a training regimen? Basically told him the confidence you build from conquering milestones will see you through the future hardships. I'm so sure of myself, but there's a nagging doubt in my head, questioning if the effort I put in is all for nothing.
give me a break.
Having more confidence in yourself is just easier said than done. You feel the same way, I guess? Would you say you're confident in yourself?
I am a robot. I do not need to believe in confidence. I have been designed to be, as the kids would say, that person. I am that being.
You imagine if, like, she said something like that?
I wish to be. I can't say.
I'll say that.
Yeah?
Not an easy question, is it? Not that it should be, I guess. As for me, well, I'm not sure of the answer myself.
I think.
All I know is that I can't stop pressing forward. Or else all the blood, sweat, and tears I shed would be wasted. Did I say blood? Blood, sweat, and tears I shed would be wasted. All the effort I put in, just gone down the drain. I can't let that happen. Those days I spent training have to mean something. The same thoughts we were running through my head last year. We fought us aside. It seems that Sonata sounds passionate when we killed her. Oh, right, the evolved thing, right? Oh, no, he just gets it. Nope, we just got it. Greatly increase the effects of buffs on self. Nice.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the talk. Getting this off my chest really helped me get my head straight. I'll make it up to you in our next battle. I'll be holding you to it. Now, where's Koromaru? Because I'm assuming that dog toy is... Wait, what? But I have the dog toy. But I have the dog toy. Wait. Mitsuru? She doesn't care about the dog toy, does she?
Oh, Aigis. Koromaru wanted me to play with him. We came across that dog toy in the...
Okay. So I knew I had the dog toy, but you gotta understand. When I turned the corner and saw Mitsuru had a moment, I was like, why does Mitsuru have a moment with the dog toy? I'm probably gonna get flack for this. My first thought was that she's gonna treat us like the dogs, and she's gonna use us to, like, fetch the toy. I don't know why that was my first thought, man. I don't know.
All right.
Let's just go.
Hello.
Hello. Are you having a hard time, Koromaru? Just keep at it. I know you can find it. We're playing a little game I learned from Yamagishi. Koromaru has to find a specific object by scent alone. In a way, it's like treasure hunting. That sounds like fun. He's like a police dog. You're not taking him for a walk.
You know what? That sounds like fun.
Is that so?
Oh, you think so? Truth be told, I found that hiding the target is rather fun as well.
He's growling.
Growl all you want. I'm not telling you where it is.
Nice try, boy.
But he's so pitiful. Don't give up.
Don't give up, Koro. You got this.
Precisely. I know you can do this, Koromaru.
And there he goes.
I admit, I did make this round harder. The scent is weaker, and there are more dead ends to throw him off the trail. Not only that, but I also hid it in an elevated location that's difficult for him to access.
You did want him to find it, right, Mitsuru? Because it feels like you're trying to make this ridiculously hard.
That seems excessive. Koromaru-san will pull through.
You know what? I'm gonna say it.
That seems like a bit much.
Well,
Amada and
Oh, whoops, wrong person.
Amada and Yamagishi said the same thing.
And yet you did it?
In the face of a challenge, I believe what's most important is upholding respect. From where I stand, disregarding one's weakness is neither kindness nor fairness. In actuality, it's overconfidence, plain and simple. No different from looking down on the opponent. That's why I never hold back, no matter who or what I'm up against.
I think you're thinking this way. You're putting way too much thought into this, Mitsuru. Oh, he found it. Way to go, boy.
C'est magnifique.
Yes, très bien. I never doubted you for a moment, Koromaru. I'm fortunate to have been surrounded by such reliable friends. Perhaps that's why I can afford to be more optimistic.
After her game with Koromaru-san, Mitsuru-san seems to have affirmed her principles. Wait, it's a Mitsuru one? But it's a... okay, whatever. Greatly increases critical rate of... Okay, yeah, we know how it goes. Her crit rate's really high as long as enemies have ailments.
I'll have to ramp up the difficulty as well so that you won't find the next one so quickly.
I was expecting Koromaru to be like, please don't. I was thrown for a loop with that dog toy, man. I really was. I was like, why not just go to Koromaru with us? Well, whatever. Let's go. Let's keep moving on a little bit more. Okay, we did a fusion. Are any cards to duplicate? No. Now, unfortunately, I did throw in my devil card for that. But at the very least, ooh. I forgot. Do I need to use the same team? Let's see. What are their levels now? Koromaru and Yukari have to go. Yeah, so I need Koromaru and Yukari because they're low level. I'm going to switch them out. So let's do... Wait. You in the party, you're gone, you're in the party. Which means we're... I wouldn't say our defense is pretty good. But you know what? Whatever. Let's just make sure everyone's got the best stuff I can get. Which I think I did. Here, I'll give you this. Anyone benefit from that? No one else can benefit from the sandals of treason? Oh, you can. Doesn't do you much good, but sure. Alright. Alright, we got Yukari and Koromaru going with us, so let's keep going. And we can go back to our Persona 4 tangent, hype, bait, whatever you want to call it. Now, where do we continue with our Persona 4? Adi's back. That's funny, I was just talking about Adi too, and they just popped up with Every Day's Great at Your Jeunesse. For those that don't know, Adi's been popping up in my streams lately, making Persona 4 things. But yes, Adi.
I wish I could walk with my sister like this, even when we're not exploring.
In a place like this? Menace? I wouldn't. Like I said, welcome Adi to the stream. To get you up to speed, I'm just talking about Persona 4 stuff because yes, Persona 4 Revival is announced. I just went on a whole myriad of tirades there. Whoa. The atmosphere is different? Yeah, no, spit.
The lower we go, the more nervous I get. Still far away, but I'm sensing a strong presence below us.
Oh, there's a
Whoa. Dude, are you kidding me with this? Look at the design of this. Myriad, but oh, yeah, myriad truths.
Chan's been going around in circles for a while now.
That-
I wonder why. It seems like he would like someone to scratch his rear.
Well, I don't get paid enough to scratch rear. I'm not a professional rear scratcher. Sorry. No, not new enemies? Well, kinda. Also, let me just add one to the sister count real quick. But yeah, ooh, okay, not use darkness. Got it, noted. Oh god, yeah, Megadola? Okay.
As predicted. Aigis evaded the attack.
I'll tell you my discussion with my online friends yesterday. Yeah, sure, lay it on me.
Strike attacks are his weakness.
Oh, we already know this thing? Oh, I thought it was new.
Whatever. That was a new enemy. No crits. Oh, we gotta get him. Bonk. Bonk. Thanks. Alright, let's get him. Let's see. Buffalo. Oh, but you're new though. It seems like attendants within Arcana like Margaret seem to be in a different power level. Okay. I mean, to be fair, all the attendants are of a way higher power level, or way higher power than anything. They preside over power. I think that's actually their thing. Oh, I don't have the cards anymore.
Don't underestimate me.
From our last tangent, we discussed how Margaret's persona seems to be from major personas. Oh. Like the personas they summon.
That went well.
That's what you mean. That what you mean. Okay, got you. Okay. With Elizabeth, it's more of a mix, and twins are just minor personas. Yes. Okay. Yes. I know what we're talking about now. Got it. Got it. Yes. For those that don't know, this was in a different episode, actually. We talked about when you fight the Velvet attendants, that they usually use different personas. But like how, for example, Margaret uses all major overpowered personas. Like she'll use Kahula and Arda. Meanwhile, although to be fair, Elizabeth does use Cert, she mainly uses like, you know, Jack Frost. And I can't think of some of the other personas she uses. Actually, no, I think Elizabeth uses Kahulin, right? Like she does use a mix of both. Neveros, yeah. She uses like kind of everything. And twins, I'm trying to think. I can't remember the twins' personas, but I know what you're getting to. I probably just have to remember.
The enemy lines are broken.
Alice and Pixie, yes. Also, those are scary though. I forgot. Because anytime you see Elizabeth with a Pixie, you better run. Although there may not be any hope for you running. But I get you. Okay, I'm on board now. I'm on board now. It took me a second to try and remember. Uh-oh. Dodge! Okay.
Aigis evaded the attack.
Ugh, not enough damage. Basically still spooky, but not major personas. Yes.
Strike attacks are no good.
To remind, if you watched my finale or you looked it up, when you fight Elizabeth, she doesn't use like... There are some personas of higher arcanas that are clearly like, you know they're powerful. It's like when you play a Pokemon game and you see like, I don't know, a small little like 2-foot tall rat compared to like a giant dragon. And you clearly are like, yeah, that dragon's powerful. Elizabeth will use a mix, but sometimes dance around like the cute little rat. Ends up being overpowered. Meanwhile, Margaret just flat out just like uses the dragon and the dragon's sister. Basically the spooky, not major personas, while Margaret's still flexing all the penultimate personas. Yes, because Margaret likes to make a statement of, you will fear me whether you like it or not. Because, you know, she's sadistic. Good dodge.
Aigis evaded the attack.
Margaret overly flexes. Ooh. Good crit. Let's get him. Wait, actually, is that enough to take him out? I don't think so. Oh, it is. Nice. What do we got? We see Suzaku. We got the Chariot. Money's nice, but I can only choose one card. Ugh. I wouldn't mind having 10 more health, though. But I need money more than anything. So where are we leading off when it comes to this this thought process? Ooh, sweet, Brave Blade. Oh no, Brave Blade. Oh no. I kind of want Brave Blade, but then it would make Makogo and a Masquerade weaker. Well, to be fair, Vanadis is more for the crit than anything else. Alright, fine. What's your last one? Oh, Ali Dance? Greatly reduce the hit rate of incoming attacks? Oh god, what am I gonna do to replace that? I don't think I have anything to replace that. That sucks. Adi said, which leads to why? What I can point out is that obviously she's the lore most powerful attendant, pre-Elizabeth Thanatos plus wildcard, and the other thing being she's a holder of an Arcana, which is fitting Empress Arcana. That is true. That is true. Because Elizabeth, you don't get a social link Arcana with Elizabeth. You get one with Margaret, because in Persona 4, Margaret acts as Yu's Empress social link. And the twins do for Joker for an extra point because they act as strength. But that's true. Elizabeth doesn't technically get a link, or a link. She doesn't get a Arcana card. That is interesting. Okay. Didn't think about that. Oh.
Horomaru-san has found a point to descend. He's asking if we'll go down.
Oh, I forgot about that chest. Hold on, I gotta go back and get that chest really quickly. That does make sense, though, going back to that, Audie. Sorry. I'm thinking about that in retrospect. 'Cause I'm trying to think, like... I don't think that Elizabeth does. So, like, I don't know of how confident I am, but as far as my memory is concerned, I don't honestly think Elizabeth has an Arcana. Like, you don't get an Arcana from...
Seems like we've checked everything.
You don't get an Arcana social link from hanging out with Elizabeth. You just hang out with her.
The enemy is wide open.
And to be fair, though, Margaret already was established to be overwhelming. We just didn't really get much of that, though. That's the part I can't explain. Why, despite the twins having Arcana not as powerful as the other sisters, my assumption is that it's not mature enough compared to the other. You referring to the fact that Elizabeth hasn't? Well, to be fair, Elizabeth does get one now. Maybe it was intended. Maybe, I don't have an argument for it. But my thought process is maybe it was intended for Elizabeth to not have one because she wasn't ready to go on a journey. Or to fill out a role in that journey.
I'll always give my all for my sister.
Oh no, you're referring to the twins? Why the twins have an Arcana not as powerful as the other sisters? My assumption is that she's not mature compared to the other. Well, my question for you then, Audie, is are you referring to the comparison of the twins and Elizabeth? Or are you just referring to the twins themselves? Because that's my question I'm going toward. Before I go further. Also, I need some Twilight fragments, dude. And the spoiler attendant? Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we can kind of say that... Oh. Oh, well, time to give two people a thing. Twins compared to Elizabeth and Margaret. Okay, gotcha. And Theodore, maybe? Yeah, Theo also doesn't have a major Arcana. Actually, now that I think about it, Theo still doesn't have a... Wait. Does Theodore represent any Arcana? Ooh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm pausing. I'm trying to think for a second. I don't think that Theo does. I don't think so. Same as Liz? Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there was like a difference between the two. Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything like that. Yeah. I guess not. I guess he doesn't have, a Arcana. But canonically, Liz is the only one inheriting Thanatos and the wild card. Well, it had to because of Liz's desire, which at this point, I guess I could say, because I know where Audie is going to, so spoiler potential, it is a spoiler warning for you guys. Elizabeth goes on a journey. The reason why, because I know some people probably listening to this being like, wait, what? What do you mean she inherits it? I guess it'd be better to explain for the audience, and I'm going to pause for a second because I need to probably explain this, that Elizabeth eventually goes on a journey to try and save Minato because of the aftermath of this. Well, to be fair, I don't know what changes they've done in Reload, but if it's anything like I know in The Answer back in the past, there's a reason why Elizabeth gets involved in a lot of things. And it only ends up becoming more and more established thanks to Persona 4, where she does inherit the wild card then. Like, more officially, which is probably why I like Persona 4, was that it was also a good, like, continuation for Persona 3 characters, at the very least for Elizabeth's story. Because in Persona 4 Arena / Ultimax, but mostly Arena, you got to play Elizabeth's story. Actually, no, it was Arena, sorry. In Persona 4 Arena, if you did Elizabeth's playthrough or Elizabeth's story, you got to see how she went on a journey to try and figure out what power she needed to try and save Minato, the P3 protagonist, from his unfortunate fate. And the theory that she came to had something to do with the power of the investigation team. More specifically, the power of the wild card that Yu shared with his friends. Even though, yes, in the game, and again, it's a fighting game, Elizabeth can fight Yu Narukami and destroy him. And there's a cutscene where When you beat up Yu Narukami and he's barely holding out together, conveniently, as he's trying to put himself together, his friends come out of nowhere. And there's two different kind of friends, or friend groups. There's some of them, like Yosuke and I think Yukiko, who's like, Yu Narukami, are you okay? It's like, what happened, partner? Are you good? And then there's the other group where it's like Kanji, who's like, did you do this? Don't expect me to hold back because you're a girl. And then Teddy's like, how could you do this? I'm very disappointed in you. Like, things like that. But it was because of that little moment that Elizabeth saw the bonds between you and the rest of the investigation team and saw a power that actually made, and I'm pretty sure this is canon, you can fight me on this, I stand on this point, I think was the one moment that made Elizabeth fear. Like, she shook in fear, or she was just like overwhelmingly surprised by it, because the amount of power and potential that the investigation team had, she could not see coming. She did not. And that was enough to make her be like, sweat a little bit. She was like, wait, whoa, what is this unfathomable potential? What is this power? And I think that's why Elizabeth was like, I need to look more into this. And eventually she embraces this, has a moment with Margaret, and eventually, like we know, gets a wild card and goes on her journey. She starts her journey, which in my mind, she'll hopefully find some way to save the P3 hero from her fate. What makes this even more crazy too, sorry I know there's a long tirade, but what makes this even crazy too is prior to, I think she's the only Velvet attendant to just straight up leave the Velvet room. Like, she just leaves because she's that determined. Because normally the Velvet room and its attendants are more there just to support and be there to help, you know, facilitate the proper growth of the guests. Like, Elizabeth's there originally to try and support Minato. Yes, I'm using the OG names. Margaret's there to help you. The twins supposed to be for, you know what, we could say it at this point, because for those who played Persona 3, I'm pretty sure anyone jumping into this knows 5. If I spoiled, I threw a spoiler warning in the video, so spoiler warning in like literally 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We know that Lavenza was originally meant to try and take care of Ren. All right, spoiler warning done. So with that being the case, it's interesting because unlike Margaret and the twins in their own way, even though they kind of still defy expectations and rules, Elizabeth's the only one that's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go save him. I'm not gonna just stand around and be just a simple guest. I'm gonna find a way to save Minato Arisato. I'm going to do this, and no one's gonna stop me. And quite frankly, I feel like if anyone could, it would definitely be Elizabeth. I mean, it makes sense though. Like, she fell in love with him. Like, she's still determined to like break him free from the seal. And I don't know. I really hope, but that also makes it kind of awkward because I'm pretty sure that puts things in perspective for. I'm sorry, I need to play the game as I'm doing this. With Thanatos managed to beat the crap out of Margaret, LOL. If she was sealed with wild card, it's confirmation that she's breaking away from something. In this case, her obligation to the Velvet Room. Yes, very true, very true. Oh right, get the clock. Like, that was her point that eventually gave her the power to start going on her journey. What? Oh, there we go. Which two people are we gonna give? Let's give it to. Let's see, who's gonna learn something? You would learn Garodine, which is nice. You would. It would go be me, right? Yeah, it'd be 63. You would learn Garodine. You would learn Deathbound. You would learn Zeodine, but we just had you, so you can wait. You would learn Bupodine, which I kind of want you to have, because you need to start doing better stuff, Mitsuru. You would learn Zeodine, but we can play as Ken later. You would learn Soul Shift, but we have you on the team. You're gonna learn this no matter what. I think I'm gonna do Yukari and Junpei as my next two for this. Yeah, I think that would be fair. And then we can get Yukari's Garodine and all that other stuff. I should do Koromaru, but I want Koro to stay on the team for a little bit longer. But again, I'm also doing Yukari, so there's really no point in not. Who do I not want to play as for a minute? Well, I said Junpei for sure. Junpei's gonna get one. And then the second person should be... You know what? I'm gonna do Junpei and Koro. I'm gonna do that instead. Another topic is how Rise becomes a combatant. Ooh, actually, I do have a thought on that. Hang on a second. Hey, Aigis. I feel like I got tons of energy right now. Almost like you did some sort of gameplay mechanic to give me power. Want to put me in the party? No, you'll probably be put in the party next time, buddy. Next episode. Let me see. Let me just go ahead, do this, explore. But to go back to that, before I talk about the resave thing, Audie, to go finalize, rather, the Elizabeth thing is... Oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
Is... Oh, God, it's really dark. Oh, flip this. I gotta add one to the count.
Filthy monster.
This is my chance to find these things. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta focus really quickly. Where the flip? I'm trying to find Twilight fragments. I can't see any of them. I don't see any glowing blue thingies. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. That freaking shadow. There we go. There's one. There's two. Okay.
Aigis, something dangerous is
Yeah, we're out. Okay, good. We'll leave. We're out. Okay, now I can focus. Phew. Sorry. Little stressful because I don't think I'm strong enough to fight the Reaper at my current level. I might be. But anyway, the last thing I want to say really quickly about the Elizabeth thing is Elizabeth has always been the spontaneous do whatever she wants kind of thing.
I know it must be tough with your new responsibilities as a leader. Let me know if you ever need help with anything. I'll do whatever I can. I think Koro-chan wants to help out too.
I was about to say, yeah, she needs help, but not from you. The last thing I'll say when it comes to Elizabeth is that she's always a spontaneous, do whatever she wants kind of person. And I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in numerous circumstances that Elizabeth just... I wasn't joking when I say she just up and leaves. Like, she wants to save Minato because she fell in love with him. Honestly, that's just really touching to me. And the reason why I didn't say Elizabeth is like the ideal girl is because it's kind of crazy. But with that kind of personality, it seems fitting for Liz to get a wild card in Lamau. But it is. It really is. Because she always is the spontaneous type. Although, to be fair, I think Caroline also takes a little after her on that one. That she just kind of does what she wants. But we could talk more about the twins way later. We don't need to talk about the twins right now. We'll discuss more about them later. Believe me, I have my own things on that one. And right, I gotta add two sisters. I almost forgot about that. But the thing that I'm getting to is Elizabeth, she just up and left. And that caused a problem because she left without really saying much. I'm pretty sure Margaret and the rest of the people know. Like, I'm pretty sure they're aware. But in my mind, I think Elizabeth just literally just dipped. Like, she was just like, all right, I'm out. Because she wanted to go save Minato. Which means that I'm pretty sure that made, at the very least, it put a lot of, like, strain, I guess is the word, between the relationship between her and Margaret. Because Margaret and her are close. They're sisters. And Elizabeth's her younger sister. Imagine if you had a sibling, right? Most of you have siblings. Imagine if your younger sibling, or rather any sibling that you're close to, just left. Like, especially if they were like that spontaneous. It doesn't even matter if they're spontaneous. Like, if your brother or sister just one day just decided to leave without saying anything. I mean, I'm assuming they did. Maybe in their very own way, they just kind of like let a clue of being like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a long, long while. But knowing Elizabeth's personality, she just dipped. She just peaced out. And that probably left a bit of a feeling toward, please don't use power howling. Damn it. See, here we go. I know Koroma's going to start doing this stupid... I hate this theurgy. It's cool, but not useful. Whatever. It's not going to be as bad as Yukari when she gets her second theurgy. I just know it. Anywho, I digress. Like, imagine how Margaret feels. And I'm pretty sure it was in-game. I think it's during the Vision Quest and when you beat Margaret in Golden. Lame. Didn't do anything. That Margaret just was just like, okay, well, great. Thanks for, like, leaving. I feel like that's not at all. Margaret's the dutiful type, so it's not surprising that she'd go for Liz and was like, hey, go back to work. Well, so the issue that I'm trying to get to, Audie, and I'm trying to, like, watch my words and say this better, is that clearly affected her. Margaret's a strong person. She's probably the most unflappable, like, of the Velvet Room attendants. Like, you know how in anime, every character can, like, kind of react or something? But she feels to me like those kind of anime characters that it would take a lot to make her phased. which is when you know you messed up if you like ever know see her angry or things like that. So the issue I have though is if she of all people, you start to see the cracks in her emotions and she gets seriously affected, that means it's a big damn deal. And I say this because in Persona 4 Gold, I'm going to use Golden for this one. In Persona 4 Golden, when you beat Margaret, there's a moment where she talks about her sister, about how this was unheard of, and the only other person that did something this crazy was her little sister, who she basically alludes to the fact that she left. And then I'm going to go on Persona 3 Portable on this one, because I'm pretty sure in the Vision Quest, you fight Margaret, and you get that little realization of finding out that that Margaret that you fight in Vision Quest is a future Margaret who talks about her circumstance with Elizabeth. And to finalize this tan point, I'm going to go on Persona Q. Now, say what you will, Persona Q is canon. Remember, the Velvet Room people, they don't follow the rules of time and space. They do whatever the flip they want. They preside on a whole different plane of reality, whatever it is. So, Margaret and Elizabeth will meet in Q or Q2, either or, and Margaret's aware of what Elizabeth's going to do. I do not remember at the top of my head exactly the scene. I know it's in Q though, but there's a moment where Margaret wants to talk to Elizabeth about what Elizabeth is going to do. Because Q takes place during two major intervals, but essentially before the end of Persona 3 and before the end of Persona 4, which is why C's and the investigation team meet. And because of that, that's also established, and to remind you, Persona 4 takes place a couple years after Persona 3. So Margaret's well aware of what Elizabeth is going to do. So a part of her wants to talk to Elizabeth and say, hey, Elizabeth, I know what you're going to do. And Elizabeth is like, what's going to happen? What's up? And Margaret takes a second and she says, you know what? No, there'll be a time for this talk later. That was not the time. There are other things. But it's not one of those things where she immediately says it. There's a moment where Margaret pauses and realizes it's kind of hard to say that. These Velvet people probably don't have to care too much about the flow of time and all that jazz, but it is a big deal for Margaret, of all people, to just have a moment of weakness and say, I really want to say something, but I just can't. You see that eternal battle with her. So it's rough. It's rough. And I know that that means that Elizabeth and Margaret have that kind of like strong, like they have a tough relationship right now. I really hope, at the very least of Persona 6, we get to see some sort of clue about how Margaret and Elizabeth, they at least keep in contact with each other. I would like to hope. And obviously 5 doesn't really show anything like that. As far as we know in 5, actually no, it's only in Dancing and Starlight, the dancing game, that the twins kind of talk about Elizabeth and everything. But in Persona 5, you don't really get any kind of mention of 3's Margaret, or sorry, you don't get any mention of 3's Elizabeth or 4's Margaret. You just kind of like focus on the twins and that's it. And of course, some people are gonna be like, all right, well, new game, different place, you don't care. But I'm certain there are people like yours truly who are thinking about like, I wonder if they're going to throw any kind of nods to the other Velvet Room attendants. Like, what's Elizabeth doing right now as we speak? We don't know 100%. Only thing we know is she's trying to find a way to save Minato. What is Margaret doing? What are all these people doing, right? I think... Oh, Elle did talk about her sister? She might have. But... the only thing I remember is in Dancing and Starlight, they talk about Elizabeth. I don't remember them talking much of Margaret, but it basically just a mention. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But it's basically just like a nod, like a little Easter egg of, oh, hey, if you played Persona, they're talking about someone you might know. But it's not like a, oh, I still talk to them, or oh, I know what they're currently doing, or things like that. So I don't really think we have anything like that. Also, I need to focus. I'm so sorry. I know I'm going on a whole long tirade. Way longer than it was supposed to be. But this is just why I love this game, is because it makes me think about all these things. Like, I don't know. I want to hope that in Persona 6, or better yet, in Persona 4 Revival, we get some more nods on this. I would love if Persona 4 Revival talks a bit more about what Elizabeth is doing. Maybe it can lead to something else. I have more talks about that one, but I'm going to go on a different tangent here, because I did say I was going to talk about this really quickly. We discussed about Rise. Adi, you brought up Rise about how she became a combatant, right? Now, my thought process on that one, good dodge. My thought process on that one is, think about how a persona works. The personas are a manifestation of one's self. Their will, their desire, their power, their true self. So, Rise always wanted to be supporting, but maybe a part of her thought of she can't just support from the sidelines. She needs to be more hands-on. she wants to be more involved in the investigation team and pull her weight. Now, obviously, I've said on record that I think Rise, compared to all the 3 supporters or navigators, is the best navigator. Sorry, I was thirsty. But it's interesting to me that Rise just kind of did it. Okay, maybe I should back up a little bit. Ow! No, Yukari, damn it! My issue with her being combatant is that she's using Kanzeon, not Kozeon, whatever it is, the 3rd form. Yes, because I believe her persona evolution is Himiko, then Kozeon, then Kanzeon, right? I think that's how it goes. I think that's the order. I'm trying to remember the order. I think it is Himiko, then Kozeon, then Kanzeon. Also, I need to bring my friends back. Ooh. Yeah, this kind of sucks, because you suck. Is it a Kanzeon first? Is it? I'm trying to remember. One of them is just the telescope one, and then one of them is the telescope with the spinning balls, with the spinning planets. I think it's Himiko. I'm gonna have to look that up. I think it's Himiko, then Kozeon, then Kanzeon. I'm just gonna, let's see. Rise persona. Oh, evolution, I guess I should say, because it's not gonna make sense. Yeah, I'm right. It's Kanzeon's the 2nd persona. Kozeon is the 3rd persona. So Kozeon Adi is the one that basically has her with multiple orbs and multiple hands. She's got like the whole galaxy around her with a telescope. Kanzeon's the 2nd evolution. Himiko's her 1st one. Sorry, I'm nerding out a lot more than I thought I would do in a Persona episode, but whatever. The thing I was gonna get to is the reason why, I think they talked about it in the game. The reason why Rise gets a combat persona instead of just a support one, which is why I'm confused why Kanzeon and P4AU but not Kozeon. Well, to be fair, none of them get like 3rd tier evolutions in that one. I do not 100% know about this, but I think they're trying to establish that it takes place in Golden Week before certain events happen. I don't know if it's one of those things where they still have room to grow, so they lose out their personas. I'm not 100%. It might be one of those things where a lot of things happen, I just kind of forgot. All of them are 2nd? Well, no, all of them have 1st tier personas. In Persona 4 Arena, I think it's just... Actually, yeah, everyone has... No, the P4 cast all has level 1 personas. So we have Izanagi, Takemikazuchi, Jiraiya. We have all the original ones. I think it's only the P3 cast that has their 2nd evolution. So they get Caesar, Artemisia, Athena, and things like that. And then I think only you of the P4 cast actually gets his 2nd evolution with Izanagi no Okami. Also, I'm so sorry for those paying attention to the gameplay. I need to focus. What am I doing here? Before I go further on this rant, Yukari's dead. You're going next. I need to bring my friends back. I need to bring my friends back more than anything. And they don't have a weakness, right? Because you don't know, because Fuka sucks. Right, okay. Alright. I know they have Aegon, but... I need a crit. I hope so, because I'm doing it again. Now that we talk makes sense, but also makes no sense in P4 because Rise is purely support. So, okay, yeah. That was the thing I was going to get to, but I just lost my train of thought. So, remember that Rise always wanted to be... Never mind, that's not the thing to say. I'll say more about that when I play P4. But bottom line is, I think my standpoint on why Rise gets a common persona is just truly because she wants to be more involved in helping protect her friends. I think it literally is that. Like, she just wants to be more supportive. And maybe she just was like, okay, the normal support thing I've done is not enough. I want to fight too and prove that I can protect my friends and teammates. Which is why Rise is low-key overpowered. Well, She's the only navigator to have that. Currently at the time of this video, we don't know about P6 yet. Like, I think it literally is just boiled down to, yeah, Rise just is like, you know what? I'm tired of holding back. I don't want my friends to die. I'm gonna fight now. Also, I heard that sister comment. I'm not talking that loudly. And I'm pretty sure she even says something like that, actually, about how she's like, okay, no longer I'm gonna hold back. I'll be able to protect my friends too. Maybe it's because of one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm constantly being protected by my friends, that she's like, you know what? No, I want to do my part and support them. Again, this is just my guess on the aspect. I don't 100% know, but that's my thought, is that it's truly just, I want to do more for them, right? Please do. What are you weak to? Okay. That's like if Futaba or Fuka was like, yeah, I want to do more, and they actually will it. But maybe it also goes to show how much stronger... Well, to be fair, there's another thing on that too. And Adi, I don't know if I'll get you to agree with me on this or disagree with me on this one, but let's take a different look into this aspect, right? Let's compare Fuka, Rise, and Futaba when it comes to their personalities. Clearly, you know that even though they all have their flaws, and at a moment they have some sort of esteem issues in some way, shape, or form, let's be honest. Rise's the most confident. She's the most bold of the two of them. Like, Futaba has her moments, but she's still shy. She's a shy hikikomori. She's a shut-in. And Fuka, well, do I need to go on how shy Fuka is? So maybe they just don't have the capability to be bold enough to want to fight. Maybe it also just goes to show how much stronger of will that Rise is compared to both Fuka and Futaba. And to be fair, makes sense, because Rise didn't have that kind of like life growing up, where Futaba lost someone so crucial to her and basically was just ostracized by the world, and Fuka clearly was bullied. Rise didn't really have that. She just kind of stand out. And if I may add, Rise's a lover. Yeah, she was already, and then she's the Lover's Arcana. Every Lover Arcana has always been like bold and confident in themselves. I mean, they might have a moment where they're not, but they're more often than not like the bold that will stand proud. So, and if those don't know, Lover Arcanas are basically like, well, not just Rise, but think of An from Persona 5 or Yukari from Persona 3, just to throw some examples at you. Or for those Persona 2 fans, I'm trying to remember her name, Lisa from Persona 2, the blonde one. I don't know what to go for. I'll just get experience. I would hope you don't. Lover Arcana always got the fascination with something they love or what they like. That's very true. Very true. This skill, huh? But the problem is he doesn't shift, so this is useless. But no one shifts, so I guess I'll get rid of it. I'll learn Margaret. Oh, he lost a question mark. We're running out of skills.
Oh, hello.
But maybe it also just goes to show just how much more brave Rise is compared to Futaba and Fuka. And I'm not saying they're not. Again, I've said how much I love Fuka, and especially Futaba. I'm going to go far more in detail when I play P5 on that one. But obviously, Rise is a lot more brave on that aspect. And maybe between her bravery, as well as the aspect of her desire to want to be more supportive of her friends, surprisingly, I feel even more so than Fuka and Futaba. Not that they're not, but even more, like, for that aspect, that Rise's persona just evolved. And again, the one thing you gotta realize is personas evolve based off one's will, as well as their true self, their state of being, a lot of aspects to it. So think about the aspect of Rise, who usually was a stand on the sidelines, cheer my friends on, hope for the best. Maybe it was about time where she was just like balling in and was like, you know what? No, I can't let my friends die. I need to be a part of that. And I need to manifest that bravery, that power that I want to utilize to save them. And her persona responded in kind, and boom, now Himiko became a fighting persona, and a very good one. Like, seriously, I'm not joking when I say that Rise is kind of ridiculous. Like, I remember talking about this before with Naoto. I went on a different episode and talked about it, about how Naoto's persona was stupid. For those that don't know, really quickly, there's a manga called Persona Cross Detective Naoto, Persona Cross Detective Naoto, that had not been for, actually, something made it non-canon. I don't remember what. I think it was a game that made it non-canon, but before that, it used to be canon. the reason I'm going to it is because in the manga, which was canon for a moment, and I hope to God it isn't now, Naoto, the blue-haired beauty, the detective prince of Persona 4, her persona evolves again. So she ends up becoming supportive. So Adi, I'm about to throw you for a loop here. But again, personas evolve based off state of being, will, current life. There's a lot. Like, it's easy for a persona to change. Rather easy, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect. But in the Detective Naoto manga, which again was canon, Naoto's persona changed so that she became supportive instead of a combat based. And her persona basically said, I'm going to rewrite a persona's stats. I'm going to make it so your persona now is weak to everything, where your persona is now ice based. She just straight up rewrites that because she wants to. Like, it's not even a crazy, like, that's ridiculous. So I think I don't need anything else here, so we can move on. What did I get else? Didn't I get this? Speak English. What does this do? Agility plus 8? Oh. Here, Koromaru. Oh, but does he need more energy? I guess. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to... I don't want to really give it to you. I know it's agility plus 8, but... I want to give it to Fuka. I know, it doesn't make sense, but... It's more SP. That's true, but I wish what happened in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax actually reflected to the main game, because from what I understand, the happenings there happened during Persona 4 story. Yes, I'm pretty sure it happens like, what, I think a week or even a couple of days after Persona 4 Arena?
Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
And that takes place during Golden Week during Persona 4. So it happens, I think it happens right after the main story of Persona 4, but right before the epilogue. Like a lot, actually not right before.
Enemies, go splat and die, please.
What?
Look, a treasure chest.
Okay, Metis, you scare me. I think it happens like just after Persona 4. Like the main story of Persona 4, but way before the epilogue of Golden. Because I think that's when Yosuke's like, yeah, things kind of happened pretty crazy back in May. So, I don't know, it's kind of confusing when I think about like time and everything when it comes to Persona. Are you sure about that? Because I got their first form Persona. Yes, I'm pretty confident on that one. I'm pretty sure Persona 4 Arena takes place after the story of Persona 4, like just after. Then again, Izanagi, Yu Narukami did have Izanagi no Okami. Yeah, but that was only like temporarily like a thing. I'm stammering because I'm trying to think about the timeline and stuff. Let's see, what do I got? I already have Komok 10. Nah, well, I can only do one or... Ooh, Wind Boost. I don't know. I don't know which one. I do want the money, but... At the same time... I gotta go with Wind Boost. It's new. Atlas, fix your timeline. Yeah, it's a little hard. I just can't... I don't know, it's just not coming to me the way I'm trying to explain this, because I don't know if I'm making sense to people. I'm sorry if I'm not. Dia Haran? Oh, you still have more stuff, huh? Okay, cool.
That went well.
Yeah, that was cool, I guess. Uh-oh. 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 Well, you're stronger than me, huh? I'm just gonna go heal real quick. Phew. I'll let you go first. Oh, weak to slash. Nice. Ow. I'm trying to think of like why they don't have their like initials. I think they said something like that actually. Strike? Do I have strike? I don't want to use you. Don't I have a better strike? Where's a knot? Need you to do it, Metis. Bonk. Get him.
I don't know. I can't remember the reason why they downgrade. I don't know if it's one of those things like with P5, where in P5, you know, things happen, they lost the metaverse. No, that wouldn't make sense. I was trying to draw a parallel to like P5 in this one because, for example, in Strikers, which is a sequel to the original story Persona 5, they go back to their first tier personas, despite the fact that you can evolve them to like, you know, the second tier. And I think they said a reason of because it's been a good amount of time and because the metaverse was gone for a while that things happened. So I'm wondering if P4 was the same boat where it just hasn't been a long period of time. I also skipped that. I hope I didn't like ruin anything for you. I'm trying to be like sort of vague, but also sort of informative when I say these things. Not a fan of Dynasty Warrior games. I'd honestly recommend playing Strikers. I know you're not. I know it may be monotonous, but I actually would recommend playing Strikers. It's actually really good. Like, it's actually a very good game.
We don't need to head back yet, right? Let's keep going.
And Sophie's so good.
Wanna check that chest?
And I can't say other things, but let's just say it's so good. And it actually has a very good... You know what I like about Strikers? Just really quickly. You know what I like about Strikers? Is unlike any of the other, like, sequel games, that one actually made the New Game Plus hard and, like, fun hard. Like, all the grinding you did in P5, the first play you play Strikers, you play the harder difficulty, and it doesn't matter how high level you are, you can get destroyed in the first few seconds. I tried it recently. I'm still having difficulty fighting the Reaper to the point where I just took a break and playing other stuff. But I'm not joking. Strikers is actually really good. And honestly, even if you didn't decide not to play New Game Plus, the character interactions, how much more detail they give to other characters too, and the introduction of characters like Sophie is just so good. It's a very good sequel. But again, if you're not a fan of it, then it is what it is. But the point I'm getting to is, Strikers does establish a thing where it's like a long period of time happens, so the guys just don't remember how to use their personas. Plus, things happen where they just didn't have the ability to use the metaverse. So it was like, all right, well, I guess we don't really have a choice but to rely on our own know-how, I guess. Okay, does it reflect all of magic? Yep, physical attacks. Also, I heard that sister, by the way. Also, I gotta end it soon. I just realized I've been long on this thing for a minute because I forgot about my messed up part A. But I really do think the reason why they go back... I'm going back to the P4 thing. I think the reason why, the P4 cast goes back to, like, the level 1 personas in Arena is just because it's been so long. Like, they don't really have a reason to do it. Get him. Actually, wait a minute. Didn't they talk about it during this game, actually? It's just a flex on P3 crews. Well, wait. I just thought about something. Didn't we actually get something like that talked about in the answer? Like, as we're playing it right now? Didn't someone say, like, it's... Thanks, Menace. Didn't they just say something like that in the very beginning where they were like, it's been a long period of time since we've been going through the Dark Hour. We just haven't been, like, keeping up with our personas, so you just kind of, like, lost the ability. No, because our personas went to level 2. I'm trying to... man, I can't... I don't know. Like, my brain is saying it's because it's been so long that the cast just hasn't used their personas. That's why they downgrade. But...
Oromaru-san has found a point to descent. He's asking if we'll go down.
I don't know, because the argument I was going to make was that, but then I'm thinking, oh, but that doesn't explain why the P3 class, or cast, excuse me, still has their level 2 personas. It's definitely a flex on P3 crews. Do you remember how chaotic Naoto is with a dumb gun? It's so annoying. What do you mean? It's only annoying if you're Shadow... Wait, I'm assuming you're referring to the fighting version. It's only annoying to fight Naoto if you're Shadow Naoto. Seriously, Shadow characters, while not broken, are stupid. God, Shadow Berserk, Shadow Naoto, just spam a combo, then use Hamaon or Mudon. It's over. But then again, a lot of characters have some very disgusting setups. I'm not a very good Persona 3, Persona 4 fighting master. But let me just say this. It's, when you get a good combo in there, it's fun as flip.
The enemy lines are. Don't hold anything back. Enemy signal destroyed.
But the only thing I can honestly think about, I gotta, unfortunately, I have to end the episode, but oh God, it's new. Damn it. All right. Let me end this with one last note.
I'm doing better than ever.
And I know I want to explore more, but
Oh, that one looks.
unfortunately, I also got to think about part A. Margaret's also chaotic at flip. Oh man, like seriously, you got to get like the boss mode versions of these characters. You get like the strongest versions when you get like Margaret's suplex that does stupid amounts of damage.
Whoa, that enemy is rare.
Oh, she run for me. But let me end this on one last standpoint. 'Cause I'm still thinking about this. This might be on my mind for a minute. So if I don't say it, I'm not gonna get a chance to explain myself. I really honestly think. You know what? No. I'm now more confident on this one. I'm going back to my earlier thing. So earlier, like not even a short while ago, I said the reason why I think the P4 cast goes back to their level 1 personas is because they haven't used their personas in a minute. But I'm thinking about something else, right? So how about this? Let me try and see if I'm like, am I cooking with something or am I just crazy? I'm probably crazy.
That was great, sister.
Let me go use Fuka's thing. Let me go back to the main area because that way I can explore this properly. Hear me out. So, I'm thinking about why the P4 cast, why people lose their personas, and why the P3 cast kept theirs. To be fair, Steve's still actively hunting shadows even after P3's main story. That was one of the things I was getting to. So, this is, again, for those who don't mess with Persona 4 Arena, I'm going to say it. So it makes sense, but Junpei quit C's, right? Yes, he did, but he still helps. Like, they all still, like, help out whenever they can. Well, the point I'm getting to, this is going to be a bit of a tirade, but hear me out. After the events of P3 in the original game, it's established and further talked about more in Persona 4 Arena that Mitsuru invents a new group. It's no longer C's, but the Shadow Operators, or Shadow Operations, or Shadow Ops. I can't remember the actual term. But basically, they're just like the C's group, but beyond high school. So like college and adulthood, even though I'm pretty sure they're in the like 20s. I think they're around like my age, actually. I might be a little bit older than them. Actually, don't know. I can't remember their ages in that one. They're still like young 20s, so I think we're all in roughly the same age. Now I should know, because I don't know. The age isn't the point. The point is that they go to this like more adult-based or young adult-based operation team of C's. Because it's no longer just a high school curriculum thing, right? And that obviously consists of people like Aigis and Mitsuru. Akihiko, Yukari and Junpei quit. Even Akihiko in a sense also quit. Yeah, but I still think they still like can help and they still keep in contact with each other. And Akihiko did kind of quit, but he's kind of on his own journey of like self-training, which is why he goes to like fight bears and goes out to the world to hone his skill. He's one of those guys. Yeah, Akihiko is that man. But the point I'm trying to get to is that they eventually make that, right? They still have their third tier or their second tier personas. They still evolve. So the argument or the question that we have to ask is this. You became Russian? Let's go. So the question the thing I'm trying to get to is this. In Persona 4 Arena, which takes place a little after the story of Persona 4, which by that point, whether through canon or not, it should have been established that the P4 cast gets their second tier evolutions. Now, the whole aspect of whether it's canon or not is a story for a different topic. I want to say it's canon. Some people could say it's not. That's totally fine. That's not the point, but it might have a factor in it, so let me know what you think. The factor I'm trying to get to is this. Why does the P3 cast get their second tier evolutions after their story, but the P4 cast doesn't get theirs? Here's my thought process on it. The P3 cast gained their personas through traumatic events and evolved them through traumatic events. Events that you just cannot simply forget. Right? Now, maybe I can't think of it clearly right now, but I'm pretty sure when you evolve the P4 cast, like when the P4 cast gets their personas, it's traumatic having to face your true self. Because let's be honest, some people don't like aspects of themselves. I hate aspects of myself. I'll go on record and say it. I think I can be too talkative. I think whatever. I'm not going on the aspect, but basically there's aspects of myself I don't like. That's fine though. It's just hard to embrace that and accept that. That's traumatic for the P4 cast, with the exception of you, to embrace the things they don't like. And for those wondering, yes, Yu Narukami does have trauma. He doesn't like being alone. He hates being isolated by himself. We have established that. I know that. I am that guy. I know my research. That's not the point. The issue is that the P4 cast gains their personas initially because of this trauma, right? But how do they get their second evolutions? I don't think it's through extreme traumatic events. They're all done by other realizations, and they might have a little bit of a moment, but it's more like emotional weight being let go and realizing that they can be better. It's not the same level of trauma to me, in my mind. I might be mistaken again, so feel free to say I'm agreeing or disagreeing. But in my mind, the P4 cast doesn't go through the same level of trauma for their second evolutions that the P3 cast does. The same thing for the P5 cast, which is why I feel, plus the aspect, oh, and well, that's the first thing. And then the other aspect is a long period of time happens where they don't really use their personas. Like P5, the Phantom Thieves don't use their personas for a good minute. And the the P4 cast don't use their personas for a minute. There's no need for them to. They just kind of do their own thing. So in my mind, I think the reason why only the P3 cast, which honestly, let's just give a shout out to the P3 cast, but it's also bad in that aspect. The reason why the P3 cast gets it is because but the P4 cast and P5 cast don't get it, but the P3 cast gets it is because okay, let's not say P4 and 5. Let's just say the group names. The C's group gets their stuff both times through trauma or traumatic events. They're both rough. Like, take Akihiko, for example. It was rough seeing Shinji die, but that was the push necessary for him to move on, gain the strength to eventually evolve Polydeuces to Caesar. It was the same thing for Yukari to realize that overwhelming struggle about her dad and evolve her persona from Isis to Io. Or no, Io to Isis. Junpei's thing is interesting, though. Adi says Junpei didn't get Hermes through trauma, I think. For what I understand, Caesar's chosen simply because they got the potential. Not necessarily true. Well, he did get Hermes through trauma because it's kind of traumatic dealing with that. And to be fair, considering the whole circumstance with his, alcoholic dad, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have trauma. But at the same time, he did evolve Hermes to Trismegistus through trauma. I mean, hell, if the woman you love died before your eyes, I would think there was some clear trauma there. But P4 didn't really have that, and neither did P5. They had trauma, yes, because it's established that all the Persona characters have to suffer something. They have to go through some major trauma to gain their personas. So it doesn't matter what you say, all of them suffer something. You name me any character, I guarantee you I can find their trauma of the P4 and P5 cast. But when they gain their second evolutions, they don't really get that. Now, you could potentially make the argument for P5 later, because they do get a bit of a trauma because of the whole issue with the January world. I won't spoil, but a certain ideal world, they kind of forget their way, and they kind of feel they obviously feel bad for what they've done to Joker, to you, the main protagonist. So you can kind of make the argument of that for being trauma, but for the sake of this argument, it's the aspect of the P3 cast gains their second evolutions because they had trauma. And let's be fair, you're not just gonna forget a traumatic event. Like, as much as you want to, trauma leaves scars deep in the heart that, in my mind, mental scars never heal. They can just be tended to, they can be wounded, or they can be... Okay, this may be a bit of a heavy thing. As I unfortunately believe that mental wounds never fully heal. They leave scars that will be there with you, and then you just have to be better at handling it, or to just cover with so many good things that it blinds it. That's my thing on that one. I'll never mentally recover from being bitten by a centipede. Well, first off, that's rough. That sucks. But take, for example, I've said it on record. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I'm traumatically terrified of heights. I've said it before on record that I got scarred watching when I was younger my mom go on the slingshot ride, watching my dad, or having my dad try to drag me to the Great American Coaster. having been stuck in that glass elevator when I was younger. Those things scarred me. I will never forget those, no matter how much I want to. That's a part of me. And the only thing I can really do is just try to handle it better, or just have so many other good things happen that even though the scar is there, I can focus on other things and it doesn't completely debilitate me. That's what I feel is the trauma in this aspect. The P3 cast has that trauma. They're never going to lose it. Junpei's always going to have the trauma of thinking about what happened when Chidori died. Akihiko is never going to not lose the trauma of what happened when Shinji died. But they grow better because they think about the circumstances. And yes, you can make the argument of Chidori being alive. Yes, fine. But that doesn't mean that Junpei's just going to up and forget that Chidori died, because technically she did. And even if you were like, oh, but yeah, Chidori's alive, it's fine. Then what about Akihiko? Because Akihiko still had to suffer losing Shinji Gon. That's a trauma that's never going away. He just had to get better at handling it. P4 and P5, they don't go through that same thing the second time. They go through it the first time, they get better at handling it the second time. Or they find something to make them finally accept and move on the second time. They don't have the same thing that P3 does. So that's the reason in my mind why, when it comes to Persona 4 Arena, why the P4 cast still has their first personas. It's because they don't have that thing. So in a way, there's no reason for them to just kind of like move on. But again, the other reason too is because it's been a long period of time and they just got rusty. I mean, to be fair, think of it like playing an instrument or learning a language. Unless you stick with it, you're gonna probably forget, or just time will happen and you just kind of forget it. So you gotta be consistent with it. But that's my point. That's my thought process. Akihiko double the trauma, like losing Miki and Shinji. Yeah, that's true. It was twice. I can feel my persona awaken after the death of Shinji. But I think the moral of where I'm going with this, and I'm sorry, again, I wish I was better explaining my words. I know I keep flubbing up my words. I need more vitamins in me, because, I don't know, I just can't talk. But I really do feel like the trauma is just... It's not overwhelming that they can't move, but it's overwhelming enough that it doesn't fade. And that still sticks, and that's why their personas evolve again, because they get better at handling that. They don't move on past it, they accept it and take it with them, but they don't let that stop them. They use that as motivation to grow. That's one of the reasons why I like Persona, is because it shows these characters going through these struggles, especially emotionally. And despite having any circumstance to stop them, which they should rightfully just be like, you know what, I can't handle this, I should just stay behind, they know that it's not right. They have to move on. They have to grow. It's necessary. Especially more so for the protagonists. Like, you guys can say whatever about how the protagonists don't have much. Like, yeah, you can make the argument of Yuna Arkami doesn't suffer anything. Not true. You imagine what's like to have a nice life somewhere and then be forced to move someplace else. That's why I vibe with you more than anything. I was one of those people, I moved around a lot as a kid. Hell, I'm still doing it recently. Well, details on that later. But having to move around a lot when I was younger, losing the little friends and establishments I had, I understand Yu's thing about not wanting to be alone. I grew up independent though, but I understand feeling alone sucks. It really does suck. So we all have the trauma and it still just lasts. But again, I don't know. I don't 100% know the reason why the P4 cast goes down to their level 1 personas. Again, my only guess is just because of the trauma they don't get for the second time to keep them with the second one. Like, you don't have Kanji getting a secondary trauma and keeping Rock 10 Mao. He's stuck with Take Mikazuchi. That's never going. So maybe because of that and the fact that they don't use their personas in a long while, they just, I don't know, downgrade back to level 1. I don't know. I don't really know. So let me know what you think. I would love to talk more about this in a different day. Excuse me. But I have no honest idea. I don't know. There's a lot of theories, I know. And I'm pretty sure if I really had the patience, I could go look up more of the Persona Iceberg. Because I remember, like, hearing a little bit about it and then immediately clicking off the video because I was like, no. I don't need to go in conspiracy mode B right now. I need to focus on getting some food and stuff. Gotta say, though, a lot of Persona 4's base Persona look better. I think that when it comes to base Personas, I think the Persona 5 Personas look cooler. I like the Persona 5 Personas. Like, their design is way better. And this is probably going to be taken in an ill way, but when it comes to all three groups, between C's, the investigation team, and the Phantom Thieves, I think the Persona 5's Personas look the coolest, but the Persona 4 personas are the strongest. Especially when it comes to their third tier evolutions. Except for Chie, Gongen's amazing. Oh, Suzuka Gongen? Yeah, oh, hell yeah. But that's my standpoint. I went on a very long tirade. I realized when I compared this to Part A, I went way over my normal episode. Sorry for that, but thank you all for tuning in. This was originally supposed to be just me getting hyped for Persona 4, and I had other things I want to talk about, like my expectations for Persona 4. Like, I don't know. I hope that... I'll be quick. I hope that when we get Persona 4 Revival, or Rewind, or whatever, I guess we'll call it Revival for now, I hope they make the dungeons better. I hope they give us more fun moments with the cast. I would like to incorporate more bike events, especially because the bike events kind of took some time, and I want more events. I want more fun social events, because that's one of the things I liked about Persona 4, is that it really was just like, we could go biking to the beach, or we could go on the summer festival, or things like that. Or, I don't know, something. I'm excited for the Heim Daisy Dojima. I was talking about that earlier in the video, too. But the biggest thing is, excuse me, I said in the beginning, so I'm going to end this one last time. I know I said I was going to end it, but for sure this time I'm going to end it with one last thing. The things I hope for Persona 4 Revival is A, I hope the dungeons are better, because the dungeons need to be. Especially for Naoto's sake, because Naoto's can be good, but we don't get her for long, and that sucks. She has the Haru syndrome of, we don't get enough time with her. We get more time with Naoto, yes, but we don't get enough time. Well, I'm not talking about Risei's dungeon, but all the dungeons need some work. But keep Mitsuo's theme, because I like Mitsuo's little, like, 8-bit theme, because that's awesome. Risei's dungeon does suck. Yes, I'll give it to you on that one. Although the music was hype. That's the first thing. The second thing that I know they're going to do, but I don't know, the part of me thinks they might not, is I hope they do keep the Bless and Curse thing. Because, remember, back in original P3 and original P4, Light and Dark was just Hama and Mudo. We never had Kogaon and Aegon. So I hope we don't just have to deal with stupid Hamaon and Mudons. Seriously, that sucks. And then the third thing that I really hope... Actually, there's 4 things. The third thing I hope is that we incorporate more, like, super skills. Because P5 and P3 basically have it. Like, however you ever think about it, P3 doesn't get team skills, but they get, like, the Theurgies. They have 2 different Theurgies. Persona 5, they get their showtimes in Persona 5 Royale, and then in Strikers, they get their own individual showtimes. P4, they only get 3 team attacks. And not that they're not cool, they're still awesome. But I want more team attacks and more, like, unique skills. Like, you kind of get it in Arena. Well, yes, yeah, you do get in Arena. But I want something like that. I want the Theurgy mechanic. Or the Striker's Showtime mechanic for Persona 4's cast. I want that. I like Theurgy, but I wish there were more risks of using it. Yeah, I agree too. Like, there should be more crippling things for P4, but honestly, I do just want a mechanic like that. So I hope they incorporate that, and then to a somewhat connected idea to that and the Bless and Curse thing. We know we're going to have it, but I wonder what their baton pass mechanic's going to be, because the shift mechanic in this, I'll admit, my playthrough, I haven't done it. Well, to be fair, actually, no, that's not true. In my playthrough on camera, I have never done shifting except for the one time. I'm telling you folks right now, I'm playing the original story of Persona 3 Reload off camera. I'm doing it controlling my friends, and I've been shifting left and right. Oh god, like, we need to make shift a better thing, or baton pass, or whatever the flip they're going to call it in Persona 4 Revival, because I know we're going to do a baton pass thing. For example, in Metaphor using Synth, basically Theurgy has risk for using it. Basically, high risk, high return if you use the right type of deal. Please make Margaret lore accurate. I don't know. We'll see. But my final aspect that I hope they incorporate Persona 4 Revival is... I want... So, kind of like how we have... I want the P4 protagonist to fight 3 and 5. I want us to fight the team. I want us to have more like... No, excuse me. I want to have challenge battles. I like the challenge battles that P5 had. I want to have the ability to have a changing dungeon that's really fun, like I said, the first thing. But I want to have the ability to do challenge battles because, like, in P5, you get to fight the P3 hero and P4 hero. And in P3... I know this already. I haven't seen it yet, I haven't played it, obviously, because we're watching this together. This is my first time doing episode Aigis. I am aware we fight Joker in this game. I do not know how Joker works. I still have not known. I do not know. But I know that we fight Joker somehow. I'm quite curious on why, but I know we do. I've seen the trailer, so I know that much at least. And from what I've heard from other people, that Joker's going to destroy me. He's going to... What is his line? He's going to ravage them. He's going to ravage me. Which I hope doesn't get taken out of context. But I want to fight the P3 hero. At the very least, let me fight Minato. And then let me fight Joker too. Because I got to see the Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel represent, man. He's too cool to not. And I don't know, I would love that. And then as a PS bonus thing, this is just me nitpicking. If I could be a little greedy, I want to see Sho. I want Sho Minazuki to be involved in this. I know he's unique to Arena, his whole role, but I'd be kind of interested to see how it would be to fight Sho in Persona 4 Revival. Or better yet, give me a new character. Give me a new playable character. They're not going to, because there's no need to it. This is just, I said that it's a PS for a reason. Like, this is like the bonus. You got a nice giant strawberry shortcake. You got what you ordered, and then they just were like, oh, well, you didn't ask for a cherry, so we're gonna give you a cherry. So, I think it'd be interesting if we get Sho or Labris. Give us one of the fighting characters, because they're unique because of 4. Like, I want to see Labris and Sho involved in some way, shape, or form. I know we're probably not. They're unique to Arena. It's just kind of like how Sophie is to Strikers. But playing Strikers establishes the aspect of they could bring these characters in a way back. So I want to see Sho and Labris involved in some way, shape, or form. Oh, but I hope they bring the costumes back. Let them give us back the costumes like they did with Golden. Don't censor anything. I love the costumes they did. I want better dungeons. I want more costumes. I want more team attacks and skills. Bring light and dark how they are. Make the baton pass effect really cool. I know, I asked for a lot of askings I asked for. But I don't know. I think the thing I'm going to do is when I first see the full trailer of Persona 4, they give us Revival. They show us that delicious UI. And better yet, I want to see what music they get. I want some new music. I love Reach Out to Truth and Time to Make History, but like, they think of Persona 3. They made Don't my new favorite battle theme in a Persona game. I love this song, Something Fierce. And it's going down now. And then 5 already killed it with Last Surprise, and Takeover was really good, even though Last Surprise is better. I like Time to Make History, but I can only imagine what Persona 4's new battle theme is going to be, because we know we're going to get a new one. We're going to get a new battle theme. I don't know what it is. It's going to be good. I just know it. But with that out of the way, I've talked too much. Thank you all for tuning in for this episode. This was a very long tirade, but the moral of the story is I am hyped for Persona 4 Revival. I have a lot of things I want to ask about. There's a lot of lore that I still need to know about. I'm not 100% certain on it. These are just my opinions at the end of the day. But bottom line is, this is why I love Persona 4, because only Persona 4 has gotten this kind of feeling out of me. More than 3 and more than 5. Although, to be fair, I guess the argument could be personally said that if I discovered Persona 3 first or Persona 5 first, I probably would have loved them first. But Persona 4 literally is my favorite one. And it probably always will be until Persona 6 happens, and then we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Every day's great at your Junes. I can't wait to hear like the drunk version. Every day's great on your Junes. The hell's Junes, Nanaku? But I'm looking forward to Persona 4 Revival. On the next episode of Persona 3, though, we won't be talking about Persona 4. I will try my best not to. We're going to focus on episode Aigis. We're going to go through Ptolomea. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to make some money. We're going to do this because we don't have many areas left. After Ptolomea, what do we got? Judecca. Actually running out. Although, I'll keep that thought to myself. Let's just say we're running out of road here. We're gonna need some. We're gonna have to seriously start doing some grinding. I got a thing.
Good day.
What request did I get?
Here are my requests.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Cool. The Book of Aeon. The number of major arcana cards obtainable for several times increased by... Oh, cool. Thanks. I still gotta fight the freaking Reaper, man. Oh, that's gonna suck.
Very well.
But yeah, like I said, next episode, we're not gonna talk about Persona 4 as much. We're gonna focus on episode 3, and I don't know, we'll probably just have some fun. I don't know. We'll go with it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, if you loved my opinions, I know I talked a lot. Again, it's one of the things I really wish I could work on, is I wish wasn't as talkative. I know it's a channel, I'm streaming, I'm trying to entertain. But I feel like personally for me, I just kind of go off and off and off. I need to watch myself. But if you did enjoy this, you like my standpoints, my opinions, or hated my opinions and want to make a strong argument, then you know where I'll be. I'll be on this channel for a long, long time to come. And if you did enjoy it, please make sure to follow me on Twitch with the handle of VitaminDGR, or you can find me on YouTube with the same name and handle. Please, please, please support the channel. It really does help, especially when you guys subscribe and follow. Like, it really does keep the channel alive. You guys may not realize it, but it really honestly does. Sorry, I had to charge my controller because my controller's battery's about to die. I saw the thing, my plug came out and I need to charge my controller. But yeah, again, share me your hype for Persona 4 Revival. How hyped are you? Scale of 1 to yes. No, scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, yeah, dude, I'm hype. Let me know what you think, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next episode.